Good morning, everyone. This is Jynnette The Oracle. Welcome to Oracle Talks. I hope that you all are doing well. So quick announcements. The schedule has been updated for sessions. So if you would like to book a private session with me, you can go to the link that's in the description box below, which is my website. On the sessions tab, look at the various options there for sessions that I offer. And when you click on that, it will pull up a calendar for the week ahead. As a reminder, I only do availability for the week ahead at a time, and it does change every week because my schedule does change each week. So check that out. I have new availability, but yes, books are open. So go ahead and book a session if you would like. If you do have any questions about what session is going to be best for you, feel free to visit the contact page on my website, and that will get sent to me, and then we'll figure something. I hope bring some clarity to what might be best supportive for you. But for the most part, it should be pretty easy to understand and figure out what's going to work for you. The recording for the 2026 Spiritual New Year channeling event is available for purchase. So that link is also in the description below. I also have it on the homepage of the website to purchase. So definitely check that out and grab that if you have not already. It provides guidance for each of the 12 months from autumn equinox to autumn equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere. So we are essentially coming to the end of the first month of the spiritual new year, Libra season, and shifting into Scorpio season. That is the purpose for today's message. It's about preparing for Scorpio season based on the messages that were coming through in that spiritual new year message. So if you want broader context for what these messages are going to be today, you definitely want to check out that recording, and specifically for that part. If I have some time, I'll get into ancestor messages possibly, but maybe not, just depending. I'm going to focus on preparing for a Scorpio season, which as of this live stream is going to be happening technically next week. So basically preparing for coming into Scorpio season on this week ahead, how to best show up in that way, given the energy that was channeled, that was coming through for Scorpio, the things that we're going to be kind of dealing with in the quote unquote 3D realm, so to speak. Okay. And then last announcement, enrollment or registration for the next cohort of the Lightworker Incubator, which will be the winter 2026 cohort, which will start in January. That will be opening up at the end of November, just to give a heads up now. So, you can start thinking about it, start checking in with your own spirit, with your ancestors, with your guardian angels, protectors, etc., that you work with, to start making the way for you to be able to come into this next iteration of the incubator. Again, we're still a month out, but just letting you know that that's when it will open, and it will be a start time of January of next year. Okay, that'll be the winter cohort. But that's it as far as announcements. So that's enough intro talking. So again, hello, my name is Jynnette The Oracle. I am founder and CEO of Inner Sun Alchemy. And what we do is, meaning me and spirit, what we do is provide guidance for you for both personal and spiritual development, as well as business development as well. Lately, a lot of the business stuff has just been in the astrological reports, because it's been much more about spirit messages and personal development messages recently, but I still do both. I still provide both. So you can come to me for both. So our intention for today, like I said, is to get messages to prepare for Scorpio season. I'm going to be doing a simple spread for that so that I can quickly kind of drop right into the energy and all of that. But as you come in, as usual, please do introduce yourself. Let us know where you are joining from in the world, what you might be sipping on or eating, and how you are doing, how you're feeling, etc. I just have some water right now. I will be having some caffeinated beverage later because your girl is tired. As I've been sharing in the community posts here on YouTube as well as on Blue Sky, I'm currently in, along with the other participants, the 60 days of open heart meditation. And we are a little bit, I guess, like almost halfway through the first month. And this week specifically, in particular, though, Spirit has been waking me up in the wee hours of the morning, like fully alert. And it's like, okay, you need to do your, I have specific yogic practices I have to do. And, you know, sitting in meditation and just being in that energy at those particular hours. And it's been a while since I've been like called to do that, but it's just been like, it's like, wake up. I'm not even like setting an alarm. It's just like, you know, get up for that. So that's been the week. But yeah, been waking up early and your girl is just kind of like, even though like I also like have energy, but the body is like, okay. So if this continues, I might have to like really go to bed significantly earlier just to make sure my body's getting the rest that it needs. Even though like I'm riding high on Spirit internally, just, you know, out of respect, because this is also the part of the season of the year here in the Northern Hemisphere where it's, you know, we're lessening sunlight hours. It's more of the yin time of the year. So more rest is needed. Welcome to everybody who is joining. So good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Oracle Talks. In general, I am here every Saturday unless I need to take a break for extended spiritual work. But yeah, you can find me here, either live streaming or dropping a video if I pre-record it here on Saturdays. All right. So again, say hi in the comments. Let us know where you're joining from, what you're sipping on. And let's get in. So preparing for Scorpio season. In that 2026 Spiritual New Year channeling event, again, the link is below if you want to check it out. I highly recommend checking it out. It is very valuable content. But I was getting a heads up about the Scorpio season specifically, where there's going to be a lot of emotional manipulation occurring in such a way that violence, death, etc., shows up in order to elicit a reaction from people as a way to kind of like move them to behave in a certain kind of way, etc. Now, for here specifically in the US, this is giving me, you know, like, not to say that it is this exactly, but it was kind of in the veins of like the police brutality or, you know, something like that, where again, death, violence, etc., is being used to elicit a strong emotional reaction. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be like one big thing. It can be just continual things. We've kind of already been in that space here in this country, especially with the rapid rise of authoritarianism and fascism here. In the behavior of the police state ongoing, but as well as ICE federally. So, you know, that energy is kind of always there, and well, not always there, but has been there predominantly here in the States. But this felt like a very specific kind of uptick specifically for the Scorpio season month. So the guidance for this month was preparing in spirit. Okay. So this is a kind of like pre-preparing for the month ahead, or like kind of a way to wrap our minds around some specific things that we can do as a way to kind of go a little bit deeper or get more in the weeds, in the details from what was given as an overview from that Spiritual New Year channeling message. Okay. So that's the intention for today's messages. So take a few deep breaths. You can have eyes open or closed, but ideally closed, centering into your inner world, and connect to the breath. And you want to intentionally inhale and exhale as fully and deeply as possible. Call in all of your energy, your consciousness, your mind, your will to be here in this present moment rather than being scattered out. And settle into the sacred temple that we call our bodies. This gift, both from the planet and in collaboration with our ancestors, the many bodies before us that help to give rise to this unique genetic expression that we are. Also giving thanks to the nature of the planet for its collaboration in the creation of this body, this vehicle that allows us to experience ourselves here as human beings. With each breath, holding deep love and respect for this gift of humanity in all of its changing nature, as well as the unbroken, unchanging, unshakable presence of all that is, that which has caused all of life to become existence itself, the great beyond, of which our spirit is but a drop in the ocean. And with each breath, we understand that this seemingly apparent duality of physical and non-physical is not a duality, is not a separation. But in fact, existence itself, all that is, that which has given rise to life, is in all. Every atom, every particle is infused with consciousness. And in this place, we drop all barriers and resistance to coming home. The war of duality stops in reality. In this unshaking knowingness, can be and is to be brought to this very specific experience of human beingness. And so with each breath, we bring the immensity of that unchanging presence, an unchanging presence fully into our body, fully into this moment now. And we call to and gather witnesses of the sacred containment. The spirit of air, the spirit of fire, the spirit of water, the spirit of earth, the spirit of the east, the spirit of the south, the spirit of the west, and the spirit of the north. And we ask this community to support us in balancing these sacred vehicles we've been given to contain the immensity of the presence, adjusting our energy fields as need be. And we call in the power and the presence of our elevated beneficial ancestors, our personal guardian angels and protectors, spirit guides and teachers and masters and healers, as well as the archangels of light, who support the evolution of human consciousness and all consciousness. Okay. 8:44, just 18:44, just as I stopped that. All right, welcome to everyone who is coming in. Please say hello in the comments. Let us know where you're joining from, what you might be sipping on. Let's get these messages out. Best to prepare for Scorpio season, which is this week ahead. Hope that meditation was good for you. All right, first cards out. We have the King of Wands. Next, we have the Strength card. The Queen of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. and justice is where we are so far. I will be expanding this in a second. So this King of Wands is very much giving that that steady spiritual power, and this actually was something that came up for the first month of the spiritual new year. So Libra season is kind of where well, not kind of, this is where we are currently as of this live stream. But this is spiritual power and grasping one's spiritual power and staying steady and seated in it. This isn't a card of activity because a person is seated, they're not moving around, but they are in control. The mind is focused, the will is focused, vision is clear, power is active and available to be used, right? So what I'm getting with that overall is the understanding that one has power. So there is a rise in clarity for that for this week ahead, or like that's what is needing to be solidified. So in general, those things that you can do for yourself to reinforce this, those practices that help to reinforce the awareness of, acceptance of, and use of your power, especially your spiritual power, your soul power, is very important right now. This strength card feels very strategic. So I know that energy here gives off placating, right? So strength card is usually like, calming an unruly nature or a primal nature. But this is more so about purposeful direction and purposeful use of it rather than the shutting down of it. Right? So the primal nature is still the primal nature, but this steady hand, this steady will, this focus, and it's both hands on this staff here, right? Is both the left and the right, the yin and yang, the integrated, right? That is what directs this rather than suppresses it, because it must be used. Okay. So we are showing up as the Chariot. So alert, ready to go, ready to get into action. This is successful energy, which I like, right? What we're facing in this week ahead as we prepare is the Queen of Wands. So this is machinations. These are plans, these are workings. It is unbalanced though, because there's only one hand on the staff. There's actually a lot of dual energy here. after expanding this. So I have Two of Pentacles. Of course, you have the Libra card, or the Libra, which is Justice card. I have Six of Cups here as well. And then the Star here in the center, which is the dual dragons as well. So this, I mean, basically, if I could sum up, even though I haven't like gone through all the cards, if I could sum up the message for preparing for Scorpio season, is in your walk, it's a both and rather than an either or, which is also probably why the meditation occurred the way it just occurred. And the inspired things that were coming through to say specifically were coming through for that reason. So that meditation then is a spiritual key, a spiritual tool that we can use to not only be prepared, but to be preparing in that state of preparedness throughout the season as well. The yin and the yang, the quote unquote physical as well as the spiritual. The both and. So again, wherever your mind goes into like this or that either or thing, it's both and. And that's actually what's going to ensure that the balance is kept, which is the ultimate goal of the Justice card. Balance doesn't mean equal. It's more equity, right? Rather than equality, but balance being kept, justice prevailing. This Seven of Cups is a reminder that we know and understand the tactics of illusion, emotional manipulation, little white lies, misinformation, disinformation, distorted media, distorted messaging, how all of that can play out, but we are able to see it for what it is and to not be swayed. Or we might need that reminder. We know what it is and we know not to be swayed. This is not new. With this Six of Cups as well, it's a reminder that you are what you have always been. This is also giving me timelessness energy. So the all of you, not just the present you, but also the past you and the future you as the integrated now. Again, another instance of like either or, and it's like, no, past, present, and future, here, now. Now, if I remember correctly, this Queen of Pentacles, I believe it was Queen of Pentacles and or Queen of Swords that popped up on the other side, the negative, malevolent side, as like trying to maneuver things. This Ace of Swords is giving me the vibe of the Ace of Cups in that 2026 spiritual New Year message. No, it's not the exact thing. This is giving me the energy of like checking this energy. It's like stopping it, right? Like preventing something from happening. So that is like recent past energy, which again had already kind of come through. In the what was that, the Seraphim Council last week. So if you haven't checked out that Oracle Talks, I will I'll link it on the end screen of this video, so you can go to that after this, because I believe it came up in that message. Checking time because I want to get a little bit more into it, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough time. Our group session at 10. Oh, so if there is a question about being able to sustain, so sustainability of this energy, or just sustaining of self, regardless, that is essentially ensured or guaranteed because of this both and consideration. Okay, so we're not dissociating from our bodies. We're not spiritually bypassing out of our humanity, out of the fire of the human experience. It's we're embracing all of it, and all of it is coming to task. But that is why it's able to be sustainable, these efforts. And this fire, or if you feel like there's a predominance of fire, if it is kept in this both and situation, so to speak, it will ultimately be transformed. Okay, so this energy isn't using emotions, rage, whatever, as fuel, because that will extinguish itself, and that is not sustainable, right? But there is an evolution or a next step of that, and the ability to be able to access that, to unlock that, to shift and grow into that, is on that integrated, that both and path. So disassociating or spiritually bypassing just sends you to the light, and it disregards this, and ultimately that will peter out because you aren't incarnated for a reason. So you're essentially like not you're only going to be able to go so far, I'll put it that way. And again, if you go the other direction where it's all the fire, all this, without the spirits, eventually you will literally break down the body, because that fire, whatever this energy is that's being used as fuel, will consume the physical. It has to consume something. So health is going to decrease, mental health problems, emotional health problems, et cetera, et cetera. Your life will just become a mess. So I'm speaking specifically for human beings, right? Because I know a lot of energies are here. But this may also be relevant for non-physical beings as well. But the both and harnessing of the power is needed. And that's actually what provides sustainability over time, and also provides a guaranteed success over these malevolent machinations. And this also helps us to be good stewards, to be better, so to speak, than our forebears. Better can be beneficial rather than malevolent. Better can also just be with more information and more wisdom. Improved choices, decisions are made. Right. But yeah, the heart of this being the star, as this drops, the heart of this being the star is important. These two in balance. The internal Shiva Shakti. Now, to be clear, it's not to say that the Shiva energy and the Shakti energy are equal. Because the turning towards the great black, as I like to call it, is the greater the greater that which has no name. I don't give a name to it. Cultures give a name to it, but I don't name it because it cannot be named. Right? So those are still in submission to that because we are birthed, existence is birthed from that. But the orientation is towards that. There is always a looking to the actual apparent source, which is that which gave birth to existence itself. But for right now, we'll just say this is the material, physical, and spiritual consciousness united. Imbalance is actually better. Imbalance. This isn't the integration itself, though. It's not the temperance card. So there is a clarity of the unique qualities of both of them. But for this month ahead specifically, this yoking of the two is really what's important. Understanding the power and the qualities of both and yoking them together. Again, both and. Because it came through as both and, not integrated. So I'll reinforce that. Both and. So there's awareness of the duality, of the apparent difference. But for this context, it is useful. And this is the guidance for preparing for the month ahead. Okay. I believe that is it. Do we have any questions? I'll confirm that this is it for now, but since I have a little time, I might actually get some ancestor messages. But any questions on this? Put it in the comments. Okay, yeah, I will do some quick ancestor messages. Okay. So a Wheel of Fortune, High Priestess, 10 of Wands, 8 of Wands. Okay, so that Wheel of Fortune does mean that things are shifting and changing. So we're being alerted to that there's a turn of the wheels, a turn of the fortune. And it's something that you probably are already intuiting and that you can already sense and feel. Since this is ancestor messages, this is probably going to be feeling more personal, internal. So it may feel like things are shifting and starting to improve for the better, even though you may or may not be seeing that in the physical in big ways. I mean, there should always be, it's always good to have a gratitude practice and noticing the things where you receive blessings or opportunities or insights and things like that, because it helps you to stay focused on the subtle messages, because often our nervous systems are conditioned to only pay attention to that which provides a lot of excitement, a lot of kind of internal chaos. But with that being said, there are shifts happening, and it may be something that you are picking up already in the spirit, regardless of whether or not you're actually seeing any physical shifts and changes. But this is a confirmation to you if you've been feeling that things are shifting and are going to be improving, because the Wheel of Fortune in general talks about when it's upright, an improvement of a situation. So things, whatever that may be, are going to be improving for you. Now, the concerns, given that we're showing up here with the earth energy, the Princess of Wands, the concerns are most likely material, i.e. money, possibly housing, or possibly health. Could also be relationships, right? But this tends to be like literal money, physical survival, health stuff, or like where you live, and safety and security, things that literally relate to safety and security. Relationships don't necessarily do that unless you are in a relationship where you or another person are vital to literal survival, meaning primary breadwinner or caretaker or something like that. So you get what I'm saying. So this is what's on our mind. This is what we're focused on. This is what we're asking for, because pages are about communication. This is what we are seeking to have come through. So there is a movement towards that in the spirit here with the Knight of Pentacles. So materially things will be shifting. Again, whatever that is going to be for each different person, because it is different for different people. So that is on its way. Whatever these issues have been causing a lot of stress and have you worried with this Nine of Swords, understandably, because when it comes to physical survival, it creates the most amount of stress. But again, that is shifting, that is changing. It's shifting and changing because whatever this 10 of Wands here in the past signals the ending of a difficult cycle. And then we have the Ace of Cups here, which is denoting the opening of a brand new cycle. So things are starting to shift and move quickly in the spirit with the 8 of Wands here. Or rather, the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles talks about that movement. The 8 of Wands in this context is actually, this is the affirmation that the communication you've been getting through your intuition is what you are getting about this. So again, successfully completed whatever the rough part of the cycle was, and are now coming out on the other side of that and beginning that process. And it is right at the beginning, because this is just the Ace of Cups. So, first things first, dealing with the earth concerns to kind of bring back restoration and all of that here for you. So that will be handled and dealt with first. This is by divine order. This is karmic in nature, meaning the balance of the scale. So this is I'm gonna be careful about how I phrase this. The period of tough times with that 10 of Wands was not personal. It just was life. So this restoration is coming just because it's supposed to come after a period of toughness. So it's like spring always follows winter. So winter has completed and spring is now beginning to arise. So this doesn't have anything to do with what you did or did not do during the times of toughness to try to get yourself out of it, because it was out of your control. If that makes sense. Now, the easing up of this toughness, again, kind of like makes it feel more free flowing and open and all that kind of thing. So again, restoration is coming. How you choose to leverage that restoration is up to you. So with the Three of Wands here in the center, you get yourself situated, but also look back on the hard times and understand that the good times aren't going to last, right? So you're coming into the good times, and for however long it's going to be, we give thanks for that. But know that, and this comes with time and wisdom, that the quote unquote bad times are going to come again. And given what has been experienced, setting yourself up throughout this restoration process so that the next time bad things happen, they are less impactful on you, less disruptive on you. Do what you can towards that. Now, you can't not have pain. You can't not have bad things happen. Because again, life is just life. So, you might have struggled with certain kinds of things on this past round, but what comes up next time around might be something completely different that you have to deal with, right? But depending on how old you are and how much experience you have, the easier it can be to create a good game plan for how you want to rebuild and again leverage the good times to mitigate the impact of the bad times on yourself. And you do actually have the ability to do that. Again, it's not that bad times won't come, they will come, but you can mitigate the impact. So for that which is in your power to do, being aware of where you've come from and what you experienced, and in particular, all the ways that you get in your own way, as well as understanding what is stable versus what is not stable in local community, in the city, in the state, in the country, in the natural environment, et cetera, can very much inform how you prepare over time, right? Because this isn't a good times just for the moment. This is an awareness. So the message is coming through now. Like it's it's good guidance. Like it is a timeless message regardless, but it's coming through now because the shift is starting to come in now. Now this may be specifically for Scorpio season. This may be also because of the all these big trines that we've been having with the grand air trine, and now we're coming into the grand water trine. So there is more openness happening in that regard of like support, of doors open, of opportunities. Yeah, it's coming. But again, I will say the energy doesn't feel big here. It feels like, slow little things, and you start to see the trickle, you start to see the stream. But it's important this message is coming through, that like what you're seeing, what you're picking up in the spirit is an indication that things are starting to, not even starting to, they are already shifting. It's already been happening in the spirit, and now it's going to start showing up in the physical, in very small ways. But those streams over time flow into raging rivers and eventually the ocean. So pay attention, be aware, and be smart this go around for the good times that are happening, so that you have really good times, really appreciate the good times, and be smart about how you use the good times, what you get in the good times, to minimize the impact of the bad times, because the bad times will come. They are guaranteed. in the physical universe, in duality, in whatever, this full spectrum exists. So it's not a matter of if, it's just when. But these things do go in cycles. So again, winter has ended. It's the thing with the Game of Thrones. It's like winter is coming. It's like at this point, winter has actually ended on for folks. What this message is for. Your winter has ended. Spring is now starting to arise. Spring is different than summer, though. Yeah. But spring is arising. And you can't like not make spring happen. And you also can't make spring happen faster. You also can't skip spring to get to summer. That's what this King of Swords is. It's just like, this is just the way it is. So the winter has ended. Spring is coming. Get what you can. Enjoy it. Go to summer, like again, it will continue. All right. Okay, cool. So I will stop there because I stopped right at 55:33. So we'll stop there. I hope that this was a blessing for you. If you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. It'd be greatly appreciated. Please do like the video. It helps to circulate it within the YouTube ecosystem. And please do comment. It can just be like a heart or whatever, because that also helps to circulate this within the YouTube ecosystem. That all would be greatly appreciated. Again, if you would like to get a copy of the 2026 Spiritual New Year Channeling, the link is in the description below. Check that out. And also sessions are back up. The schedule is updated for the week ahead. So check out the availability there and book your session. Again, the session link is listed below for the options for you. And at the end of November, not October, end of November, registration for the next cohort of the Lightworker Incubator will be opening. So keep that in mind now. Check in with your teams now. Get money together now so that you can say yes to that sacred call and hold light steady for the new year, and also create an even stronger foundation for yourself spiritually from which to catapult from in the years ahead. I love you all, and God willing, I will see you next week. And next week I may do, depending on what comes through, I would like to do a all signs reading, but I might need to, depending on what happens here in the world, there might be some things I have to talk on. But God willing, I'll see y'all next weekend. Okay, bye.